Hi, my name is Darley, and today we're talking about the LE600A pump. The LE600A pump was designed for fuel transfer in a military application. It's really a rugged piece of equipment. We've got a triple inlet, two 4-inch cam locks and one 6-inch cam lock on the inlet side, and that's the same on the discharge side. While we're operating, we're going to have a couple of different modes of operation and a couple of different settings. The settings being, are we running this pump in a relay mode where it's boosting pressure along the system delivery line? Or are we the draft or the source pump? Are we drawing water from the source that's feeding the supply chain? Again, two modes, draft mode and relay mode. Beyond that, we've got a couple of different settings that we can operate in. We have a pressure mode where the pressure governor will actually regulate the engine speed. You'll operate in that mode when you're trying to hold a system pressure or a discharge pressure on the pump. When you want to run and control the throttle using the digital panel, you're going to want to run in RPM mode. You're simply going to set the speed that you want the impeller and system to spin at. You're going to plug that in, and the system's going to respond. It's a little tougher to maintain your pressure when you're operating in the RPM mode. You might have slight fluctuations, and that's really why we designed in that pressure mode. Pressure mode is going to allow you to really regulate system pressure, ensure you're operating at a set delivery pressure. RPM mode, some people prefer to control the speed of the engine. Really up to you. It doesn't matter which way you operate. In cases where the control panel is broken, let's say a rock comes up, whatever the case may be, the screen's black, you can't operate using the control panel, we're going to want to flip the switch on the side of the box to the on position. The label states secondary throttle, and as you flip that to on, you're going to lose control with your digital controller. At that point, you're going to start operating using the throttle that's on the side of the box. Prior to flipping that switch to the on position, we're going to want to make sure that throttle is spun completely into the box. So you're going to want to rotate that in a clockwise direction or push the button that's on the center of the throttle and suppress that throttle by pushing it in completely to the box. When operating in that mode, you're going to turn the throttle in the counterclockwise direction. That'll give you more speed. That'll give you the ability to interface with the engine. So what we're going to do, we're going to start out by filling the pump by removing the 1/4-inch NPT plug. We're going to fill it up with the pump fluid and allow that pump to start purging air and draw the fluid up to the impeller so we can start making some pressure on the discharge side. We're going to remove that 1-inch NPT plug and fill the product with water. So as the pump fills up, we'll wait until we get a good amount of water in there. If you overfill it, that's okay. And then we'll put that plug right back in. Looks like we're getting close. We'll put the plug back in. And now we're ready to prime the pump. As we operate, we'll have the camera focused on the panel so you can see the interface and you'll hear the noise of the engine. You'll get to see the operating parameters that we're able to control using that digital controller. To operate the pump in a draft mode, we're going to flip the on-off ignition switch to the run position. Allow the unit to fire up. Notice that we're in relay mode for operation. We're going to switch the unit to draft mode to draw water from the source. If we were operating this pump as a booster pump, we would want to set the mode of operation to relay in the bottom right hand corner by pushing the push button. In the event that we want the screen brightness to be brighter or darker, we'll push the settings button and increase or decrease the screen brightness. Then hit exit when you've reached your desired set point. To operate the unit in blackout mode, we will turn the blackout toggle switch to the downward position. To operate the unit with the red light on, we will return the blackout switch to the on position. As we can see, there's no speed on the engine. The RPM set point has not been pushed, and the throttle is not in the start position or hasn't been keyed to the start position to fire the engine off. We can also notice that we have no coolant temperature and no oil pressure, indicating we are not operating the engine. We have a vacuum pressure that fluctuates from PSI to inches of mercury. So right now we're at an equilibrium. That transducer is hunting. It's trying to figure out what state it should be in. We have residual pressure on the line, and essentially that's showing a 1 PSI readout. If we wanted to change the mode of operation from RPM to pressure mode, we'll hit the second button in from the left-hand side. And notice the screen has changed to the PSI set point, indicating that we're in pressure mode. When operating in pressure mode, which you'll see when we fire the unit up, you'll be able to set a desired pressure, and the engine will respond to deliver that set pressure. When operating in the RPM mode, the engine will hold the set point that we tell it to. As you can see, we can increase or decrease by pushing the up button to increase and the down button to decrease. Additionally, if we push the right button, we'll increase the pressure, and the left button will decrease the pressure. If at any point we want to set the engine to an idle state, we can press the center button, and it will zero out at 900 RPM. When we go into the pressure mode, we have no throttle control, but we have the same switch functionality. By pressing up, we can increase the pressure set point, and the engine will automatically adjust to achieve that desired pressure. We can decrease by pushing down. Additionally, we can increase by pressing the right button and decrease by pressing the left button. The center button will still control the idle. When we hit that button, it'll return the engine to an idle state and clear our pressure set point. By pressing the preset button, we can achieve pre-programmed presets. 150 PSI is the pre-programmed set point. And if we hit the center button, we'll return to the idle state and it will clear the pressure setting. In RPM mode, if we hit the preset, the engine RPM will go to 1600 RPM and allow you to prime the pump in the most efficient manner. For additional instructions, refer to the operator's panel on the swing out of the cover of the control panel cluster. We will begin by firing the engine off by moving the ignition to the start position and allowing the engine to run. When we start the pump, we will put it in RPM mode. We'll cancel that out, returning the set point to 900 RPM. And as soon as the pump fires, we'll hit the preset to prime the pump. With the pump running, prior to hitting the preset, we're going to open the inlet intake valve, allowing fluid to move freely through the hose and into the pump. When pressure is achieved on the discharge side of the pump, we will open the discharge valve, allowing fluid to move freely from the pump. To enhance ease of operation, set the pump mode to pressure mode. To achieve the 150 psi preset, we will select the preset button on the far left-hand side. To return to idle, we will select the center button and the engine will idle down. To select RPM mode, we will select the second button from the left-hand side. Using the up arrow or the right arrow, we can increase the RPM on the screen. To reduce the speed of the operation, we will press the left or down button. To achieve idle, we will press the center button.